What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next Steel Path viable build. This is going to be a rebuild for Paris Prime. Let's get into this. So, with its Incarnon form, we're going to go for its evolutions, then we're going to go through the build. So, Evolution 2 is going to be Deadly Pace, increase base damage by plus 20 with sprint speed 1.2 or higher, and plus 80% fire rate. You can run this with the other one if you're running a Warframe with overshields, but for more general use, I use this one, but if I'm swapping to an overshield Warframe, I'll swap it. Evolution 3 Swift Deliverance, which is 60% projectile speed, and Evolution 4 Elemental Balance, increase base status chance by plus 60%. It's very important for this build. The critical one works, but with my build, this works better. So we're running Galvanized Chamber for 80% mortar shot and on-kill, plus 30% mortar shot for 20 seconds stacks up to 5 times. Speed Trigger for 60% fire rate times 2 for bows. Vital Sense for 120% critical damage. Galvanized Aptitude for 80% status chance and on-kill plus 40% direct damage per status type affecting the target for 20 seconds stacks up to 2 times. We've got Critical Delay for a 200% critical chance and negative 20% fire rate times 2 for bows, so we'll bring this to combat that and to increase the fire rate anyway. Malignant Force for 60% Toxin, 60% status chance. Rime Rounds for 60% cold and 60% status chance, Thermite Rounds for 60% heat and 60% status chance, and Vigilante Supplies for converting ammo, but then of course 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons, and Primary Deadhead, which on precision headshot kill, plus 120% damage for 24 seconds, stacks up 3 times, plus 30% to headshot multiplier and negative 50% weapon recoil. So we've got 135% critical chance, 4.4 times critical damage, 288% status chance, meaning this is going to land multiple statuses all the time, which is fantastic. We're running Viral and Heat, Viral to cut through health, Heat to cut through armor. You may be wondering why I'm not running Hunter Munitions, because it doesn't need it. You'll see why when we get in. But yeah, let's jump into the mission. I'll show you what this thing can do. Alright, so as per usual, we're here at Oxsmoker in the Void, and I'll quickly explain why we're here. So the Void is one of the latest game areas in the game, so you're dealing with the Corrupted, and with the Corrupted you're dealing with enemies with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor, giving you a more varied example of what your weapon slash Warframe can do. Not to mention, I label these as Steel Path Viable / Steel Path Ready builds. Whilst these are good for you to use on the Steel Path, they're more than likely not going to get you through level 9,999 enemies. If that's what you're after, probably not the build for you. But with that in mind, let's jump in. We'll continue jumping in. So, with my build in mind, you want to go into Incarnon form as often as possible, because this is where you're going to get a lot of stuff done. Now, as you can see, we are absolutely waylaying everything in our path. Everything is just getting absolutely annihilated thanks to the power of this weapon now. Like, Paris Prime, since its Incarnon form, has been buffed so many times. And this just makes the weapon even more viable for every Warframe because of guaranteed status and guaranteed crits. Like, because you're guaranteeing all of them, you're able to hit ridiculous amounts of damage. And thanks to the Incarnon form, you're also able to get through a decent amount of AoE. If enemies are grouped, you're going to hit enemies pretty frequently, like in groups, which is fantastic. Now, of course, as per usual, I will stay in long enough to get to the Acolyte, just so you can see what this thing does. Spoiler alert, works pretty well, as you could probably gather. But as soon as your Incarnon bar charges, yeah, best switching into it, because then, of course, you're going to be able to go ahead and just pretty much murk off everything in your path. And then, of course, because of enemies being grouped a lot, which is nice. And then, depending on your mission type, they'll get grouped a lot more as well. Like, if you're playing in survival, they're going to get grouped a lot more. Especially with ones like Infestation. And I'm getting a lot of Archon crystals, that's for damn sure. But as you can see, even heavily armored units are just not able to survive much against at all. Also, if everyone wondering, I have Archon shards on my Atlas Prime. However, like, his Archon shards are not anything to do with primaries whatsoever. He has 4 Crimson Amber Archons, which are for melee critical damage, which, because of his landslide fists, hence why I'm running them. And his 5th one is an Amber one, which increases, as Amber, it's a, no, it is an Amber one, which gives him energy on spawn. So he starts with energy. That's all he's running for his Archons. Nothing else in his build is built for primaries. It's all about melee, because of Atlas being a melee primary frame, thanks to his landslide fists being his like main weapon you can use for him now. But either way, as you can see, yeah, we're ripping through everything. Like, everything is being absolutely annihilated thanks to the build we've got running. Like, I would argue this once again makes Paris Prime probably the most powerful bow in the game. And then I was talking with a good friend of mine, like, while sorting this build out, and he uses a gas build because he uses it a lot with Citrine. Which, of course, Citrine allowing you to add a bunch of different, like, status effects. So it just rips through everything with Citrine if you run gas on it. But one, I don't usually build specific weapons purely for that reason, because I like to run my weapons with any frame. And, of course, thanks to this build, you can run it with any frame. And have it just absolutely annihilate everything. I am getting Archon crystals for days. What is going on today? I mean, I've got a resource booster, but I don't normally get this many drops. But as you can see, almost everything is a one-shot, if not a two-shot. And the cool thing is, because of the guaranteed heat procs, you are also leaving that heat status effect, so if you don't one-shot something, you will most likely two-shot it, or it will die on its own. You made me miss. Bushi.
Get comfy, dreamers. One of our own believes they are the equal of our foe, and they...
Ah, we're near the end of the mission. Come on, Acolyte, spawn in. There we go. Right, I'm going to redo that just so I can get it back to full. Right, 1, 2, 3, dead. And boom, that takes out the Acolyte. So yeah, as you can see, works pretty freaking good. But let me know what you think about this build in the comments down below. Don't forget you can support the channel completely for free just by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget you can also support the channel even further by becoming a channel member from as little as 99 pence per month. And don't forget I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and over on Twitch. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, some more for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below.